Episode, I'll be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins that you guys can think about accumulating, or you can watch out the levels too. If you look at the screen or the crypto heat map, you guys can see Bitcoin is down 5% or somewhere near 6%, Ethereum 4%. Altcoins are getting slaughtered except some, I would say, a handful of some altcoins that you guys see, especially OP has been outperforming, and OP has only been the crypto. I've been seeing and observing OP since the morning, and OP has not fallen a lot comparatively if you look at other cryptos. Let's hop onto the charts and think about and talk about the possibilities what Bitcoin can show us in the upcoming days. So we have the FOMC today, okay? And I have been continuously talking about the FOMC thing. So you guys need to understand one thing. Let me go down and talk about something quite logical. So we have the FOMC and we have two narratives for the FOMC. The two narratives are, the first one is, let's say, or let's assume if FOMC talks about hiking rates, okay? So I'll just term this as RH or rate hike. And if they talk about the inflation numbers being hot, but they don't have any plans of hiking rates, we do have a very slim chance of they talking about cutting rates. I don't think they are going to talk about that. Rather, Fed's chairman that you need to know, his name is Jerome Powell. He'll be addressing, everybody over that. And in that meeting, he'll be clearly talking about rate hikes or basically pausing rates. Okay, so PR or RH. Here are the two possibilities. I don't see a rate cut or RC. So that's what you need to understand. So rate cut isn't a possibility after looking at the numbers that was posted when it comes to CPI, the quarter on quarter GDP, and the other economic data numbers as well. Okay, rate hike, it basically means Fed being hawkish. Okay, so if they are hawkish, we have a simple terminology for being hawkish. Markets are going to go down brutally. It's going to be a very bearish or a negative sentiments for the emerging markets. However, if they talk about pausing rates and if they talk about the next quarter, they might think about raising interest rates. That will be factored in by the market as, a little bullish to somewhere sluggish. Why? Because we might see a short-term drop and post that we might, recover the whole move from where it had, shown the point of release. This is a practical scenario that you guys need to factor in before the FOMC minute starts, and it's going to start somewhere around 11:30 p.m. today, or rather tonight. You guys need to watch that. You guys can simply hop on to investing.com and Forex Factory, track all of that, and get back to what you guys can simply have. And now when it comes to accumulating cryptos are anyways highly volatile, and they are going to react similarly when it comes to these news getting factored in. A rate hike possibility will simply throw Bitcoin back to somewhere around this point of origin, or this was the exact point of release that I've already marked and I've been regularly talking about. But I don't want to scare you guys, but it's not necessary that Bitcoin is going to hover around here and hold this. There can be a possibility that we might come down here as well. So if I look from a rebalancing point of view, from the point of origination view, this is the exact level which surely Bitcoin should sustain. However, the chances here stays a little slim when compared to this because we saw a consolidation here as well. So yes, if Bitcoin comes down here from a rate hike possibility, you guys can easily see altcoins getting slaughtered. This is the first possible scenario. If I remove this out, this is where you guys need to keep your buy orders around if you want to buy Bitcoin. Now, the other possibility is market does not fall like this. You can never see any asset class or any pair or whatever you want to talk about falling like this. It's always going to fall in a wave like this, and it continues like this, and then it continues to fall. This is how market usually works. They move around in waves, and they do not do anything like that. Coming back to the main point of accumulation, you guys can easily see Bitcoin doing something like this, or basically mitigating or showing a small inducement towards the demand side, taking out some more liquidity, and then flash crashing again. So this is only going to be possible once you see Fed commenting in the start of the meeting. If they comment something bullish and then end it up with a bearish overall trajectory comment, you will see Bitcoin coming down again. So these are some possibilities. My overall short-term bias for Bitcoin is going to be bearish and my long-term bias is bullish. From an accumulation point of view, I have discussed it that this is going to be the first zone. $1,000, $2,000 up and down can be a near-term estimate because Bitcoin is highly volatile. You might see a wick getting created at 48, 49, and then Bitcoin starting to base down. That can be a possibility, but yes, this is going to be the zone, $53,000 to somewhere around, I would say 50,000 or 49,000. That $4,000 range is going to act as a very good filter demand zone for Bitcoin, altcoins, and Ethereum. Now let's hop on to Ethereum. If you look at Ethereum's chart, one thing is quite evident, I would say. If you look at I would just consider this chart only and I'll just remove some of my drawings. And if you look at one thing, Bitcoin, Ethereum flash crashed, you guys can clearly see here. And here was a gap created by Ethereum, which was a fair value gap. What did you guys see post that? Quite evident that the fair value gap got tapped out, and post that you started seeing Ethereum falling down. This got tapped out, Ethereum is falling. The only zone that I am currently looking at where I personally will be buying Ethereum as well is going to be this. You guys need to understand why. This was the point of origination first, and it does not mean at all that the moment you see anything, originating its price impulsively from the side, that is always going to be the zone that is going to show you a reaction from. There are going to be other zones too. You need to consider fundamentals as well, and at the same time, the imbalances too. So over here, Ethereum made an imbalance with a fair value gap, got tapped in, Ethereum started moving down again. At the same time, this might be a possibility that instead of mitigating the whole move out, Ethereum stops here, comes back down. $2,600 is going to be the last swing low for Ethereum, and Ethereum starts moving up from 2,600 like this. So this can be a possibility. However, the zones that I'll be talking about that you guys can probably watch out is going to be first. So personally, if I want to accumulate, let's say one quantity of Ethereum, my first zone is going to be ranging from $2,500 to $2,700. Over there, I'll think about infusing $1,000. The leftover $2,000 or let's say $1,500 is going to get infused here. So if I see Ethereum trading at $2,100 to $2,300, I'll be infusing another $1,000. The leftover $500 is always going to be there for an uncertainty scenario, or if I see Ethereum coming more down. These two are going to be the zones where you guys can think about accumulating Ethereum. However, if you guys do not want to accumulate Ethereum, or if you guys have different plans of accumulating Ethereum, then it's up to you. You guys can simply consult your financial advisors. Now coming back to the favorite part of this video, and that's altcoins. Everybody is interested in accumulating altcoins, and I honestly get that. See, my first altcoin that you guys can probably watch out, and I have a huge size here as well, is going to be Atom, and Atom has not fallen that much if you guys clearly see. You see some altcoins have fallen more than 7, 8, 10%, 20%. And here are some altcoins that's outperforming in this market as well, okay, and probably not falling. So Bitcoin is falling more. Currently, altcoins are not falling the same way because you see Bitcoin dominance fall. So basically, money is getting pulled out of Bitcoin more comparatively to altcoins. That's something that you guys need to understand. I'll be breaking down with the Bitcoin dominance as well over here. Now, the altcoin, when I talk about Atom, so Atom has a great area or a demand area when it comes to $5.5 to $6. If you see Bitcoin going back to $50,000, this can probably be a scenario that Atom might start trading here, or Atom might just touch this zone and start moving up. This is going to be the first zone where you guys can think about accumulating Atom from a large perspective or from a huge size. But let's say if you guys was not or were not able to accumulate Atom over here, then you guys can think about at least adding 30% size from the range of $8.3 to $7.2. Okay, the rest 70%, like I said, is going to be here. Think about things from a business perspective and not only from a reward perspective, because you need to think about trading from a business perspective, and in a business you do have risk. So in order to mitigate that risk out, you're sitting cash for an uncertainty, and that uncertainty can be considered as a natural disaster. think like this, weaponize your thinking, upgrade your thinking, stop thinking like this is the fall which is going to, start a new range of fall, market is going to go down, we are going to go in a turbulence mode. Stop thinking like this and stop operating like a kid and stop following charlatans over social media. That's something that I always talk about. But yeah, anyways, you guys can do whatever you want. I honestly do not care about what you guys want to do. I can probably share the best thing that, in my opinion, happens to be the best. And if you guys can benefit out of that, I'll be more than happy if you guys just smash the like button and follow me for that. From a range perspective, you guys can simply think about $5.5 to $6.5. That's a $1 range. The second one is $7.2 to somewhere around $8.5. Two areas you guys can probably watch out and think about accumulating atoms. The second one is AVAX. So AVAX has this clear zone. You guys can clearly see another point of this had an order block over here as well. So yes, another point of release, huge expansionary move followed by some small retracements, and those retracements were quite healthy. Price came back to the same zone, now trying to base it out. If you come down to the 4-hour time frame, you guys can clearly see price is trying to base out, start that consolidation, mature that whole accumulation, and then show you an expansionary move. So from an AMD perspective or from an accumulation perspective, yes, it is going to take up time, but your job as an investor and as a trader is just to make sure that your entries are very conservative and you guys are accumulating altcoins at their best possible price. Not probably at the lowest, or not probably, by timing the market. Oh, see, Atom went here and AVAX went here and this was the lowest price and here's where I entered. Don't think like that. Just think about AVAX from its development and its fundamental perspective, and then think about what do I think. In my opinion, I think this is the best price from a technical and from a fundamental perspective too. So yes, the zone from $21 to $27 is going to be an area where you guys can think about accumulating AVAX. 70% allocation goes there. The rest 30% basically goes somewhere around $32 to $29. This is going to be the range for AVAX. You guys can watch that out. You guys can simply comment if you guys want any of your altcoins for me to share the levels for. Okay. So let's talk about Bitcoin dominance too. I am sorry I'm talking about this right in the middle of discussing altcoins, but it's necessary for you guys to understand this. Let's talk about this from a weekly perspective, and you guys can clearly see. Just hop onto the charts and start correlating things. Then you'll start finding more interest instead of just looking at altcoins, charts, and not correlating things. The moment you saw, or the moment Bitcoin dominance started falling from here, this was the beginning of a huge altcoins rally. The same happened here as well. I'll just show you guys. The same happened here as well, where you saw altcoins dropping, and this was the beginning of the rally, or 7th December 2020, or rather the November month, and you saw a huge altcoins rally. If you guys look at a fractal, Bitcoin dominance has never made an higher high, it has always made an higher low. So if you look, I would say a lower low, I'm sorry for that, not a higher low. So it's always made a lower low here, a lower low here, and then another low. So it has never, kept the trend positive where you saw dominance moving in such a format. Rather, made a high here, another higher low here, another higher low here, and then another lower low. So that is how Bitcoin dominance kept moving. But what's more important to understand over here is this can probably be the top of the cycle, or probably this zone. And if this is the top of the cycle, you guys will see Ethereum and altcoins moving like nuts, and that you guys have been desperately waiting for, including me as well. So yes, this can be a top for Bitcoin dominance and a beginning of a huge altcoin rally. Watch this out, correlate this with Bitcoin, and then you guys will see your trading journey beginning or starting to refine more. Now, the third altcoin that you guys need to watch out, I won't be talking about DOT because I've already talked about DOT. So yes, I've already covered DOT. When it comes to injective protocol, this is a very strong blockchain ecosystem, and this ecosystem is going to be the biggest ecosystem in my opinion. You guys can do your own research. Currently trading at a good discounted price, $20 to $22 is going to be a good range where you guys can think about accumulating injective. The second zone, in my opinion, can range from somewhere around this zone, $14 to somewhere around $17, a very conservative target. We do have possibilities of this falling back to this zone, but yes, you need to consider all of the zones and all of the probabilities in trading. Now, the other crypto that I personally have invested in and I personally find it worthy enough to, park my money in is going to be OP. And like I was saying, OP did not fall and OP was outperforming in the morning, but now it's back somewhere around 0.5% down. The current zone for OP is very nice. You guys can think about accumulating it from $1.8 to somewhere around 2.3 or 2.2 or $3. Current zone 30% accumulation, 50% accumulation, and the zone from $1.2 to $1. From a very negative perspective, you guys can think about adding the rest of the 30%. But from a zone of 1.8 to 2.5, you guys can think about adding 70% size here. And if given a chance, if I talk about some new altcoins that I have, I'll just show you guys my new altcoins right here. So yeah, talking about some new altcoins, the first one is going to be Wormhole. Now this is building up a very strong base. From a 4-hour perspective, I have no issues with Wormhole. I'll be adding a huge size here probably by this weekend once I see Bitcoin trading around $50,000. This is going to be the crypto that can easily give you 100 or 200% returns in a quarter or two. Don't think that anything is going to happen overnight, but keep this on your radar. And yes, talk to your financial advisor regarding this as well. Now, when I talk about Jupiter or JUP, so if you look at JUP, the current demand zone for JUP or the highly liquid zone where it took a liquidity grab from was this, and it's trading near that only. You guys can watch out this, and if you want to accumulate, it's going to be 7.74 cents to somewhere around 82 cents. The other one that I'll be talking about is going to be crypto from the real world assets part. And if I talk about Ondo, is trading right at my demand zone. Pendle is about to come back down. Ondo is right there, but I wouldn't prefer buying Ondo here if Bitcoin falls down. I think Om or Mantra DAO is going to be something that you guys can think about, accumulating it here 50%, and the rest 50% is going to be this one. This is going to be a big zone. Why? Because we do have some liquidity grabs here and we need to consider that. Two zones for Mantra DAO that you guys can watch out. Rest of the altcoins are nice as well, but I do not think it's at a conservative price from this perspective. So yes, this is it for today's update. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if you guys want me to analyze any other crypto from a larger perspective by marking things out, by marking anything that you guys want me to mark out. This video was quite short and I wanted to keep this short purposely as well because I never wanted to talk about things from a smaller perspective. But yeah, talking about the demand zones is the most important thing that you guys can think about accumulating cryptos at. So yes, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, trade safe.